It's all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. What up?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Angel Marie from All of the Above, and I am joined here today by singer-songwriter Nikki. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. So, how have you been? I mean, summer's upon us, so what have you been up to these past few weekends?
Oh, we've had lots of rehearsal weekends. It's definitely been a very busy working weekend, busy working months for me, honestly. Many shows coming up this summer, so I'm very excited, but it's been a lot of work going into it for sure.
Yes, booked and busy, and we are going to get into all of that. So, are you ready to start this interview?
I am.
Perfect. So, first and foremost, what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
I've been surrounded by music since I was a kid, like literally 2 years old. There's pictures, videos of me in the studio down here with my twin sister, huge headphones, like don't even fit on my head. And that's just something I've been surrounded by again since I was very, very little. So I think when you grow up in that environment, like you're bound to explore. But I think what really just kept me going after it was the passion I developed for writing and performing, being on the stage. I really just fell in love with all of it. And I feel really lucky to have had that experience and exposure. I mean, I'm currently in my home studio, which is my dad's home studio. We have a studio in the basement of our home, and
Nice.
that's so amazing to like be growing up and just have the studio right downstairs and be able to have that outlet.
So I mean, it is literally in your blood. You have a musically inclined family. The fact that you have this at your fingertips, right in your family's basement. Does your sister sing as well?
She used to. So I actually started out with my twin sister when we were like 7 years old. We did a lot of music together. We started out with a rap parody of Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. I'm not sure if you know that one. It's a bit older. And I mean, I was a kid when it came out and I was 7. Like, I didn't know what a car was at that time. So I me and my sister, instead of saying Beamer, Benz, and Bentley, changed it to peanut butter and jelly, and that I think made more sense for kids of our age. And so that was kind of the beginning of us performing together. We did that for a couple years, but I mean, she's at Harvard Law School now. We went on very different paths. But I think one awesome thing is that we were able to kind of explore that together and have that starting out was really awesome to like do it with your built-in best friend.
Yeah, that is so dope. So, into your music, how would you define your sound, and what do you believe makes you unique and stand out amongst others in the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, I always like to describe it as pop R&B, which I know is a huge category that many people claim. So, more specifically, I say that I think sonically I draw a lot from pop, like the way I write melodies, the way I write harmonies, but when it comes to like that R&B influence, I think it comes from like the emotion that I put in the lyrics, the storytelling aspect of R&B music. I think that is really how I'm drawing from that genre a bit, but it's really a big fusion of both. I think one way I differ from both genres is the music is very clean. I think just not all music these days is, and I know
Mhm.
when it comes to my audience, like I want like my 12-year-old neighbor all the way to like my grandmother to be able to like listen to this music, you know? So that's
Yeah.
kind of the goal for me to like make these messages attainable to someone of any age.
I mean, that's the best way I feel like that you can become so mainstream that you can literally hit any type of audience and not just a specific group. That's how Michael Jackson became the great. Anybody can listen to Michael
Sure.
Jackson.
That's so
Now, you said that you started music at a very young age with your family. You actually started writing music at the tender age of 7 years old. What do you remember most about those early creative moments?
Yeah, I mean, it changes. When you're young, I mean, it's really exciting. I think now I write a lot from personal experience, sometimes from a lot of hurt or pain or hard moments. And when you're young, I mean, you're not really going through it as much. So, I'm not really writing about sandwiches anymore. We're writing about some maybe more complex topics. But I think when I was really little, it was just really exciting. Like I wrote about my dog or sledding in the snow and things that I liked and things that still I resonated with at the time. And I think it's really awesome. I still have those little notebooks in my room, and I just like to look back at them and kind of see how I've grown. Because one thing that I think is super important is like those songs I wrote then are like to me just as important as the ones that I wrote now. Like they're all just part of who you are at that time. And yeah, they're things that I definitely cherish.
I like that. The fact that you said that you use those old notebooks to look back and see how much you've grown. How would you say you've evolved since you first started? What are some key takeaways for you that you've noticed, like, wow, like I really changed a lot musically, like for the best, nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I definitely feel like I evolved a lot as a person when I went to college. So I just graduated from Harvard last May. It's almost like I think it was like probably a year ago tomorrow. Like tomorrow will be mark a year of me graduating college, which is crazy that it's even been that long now. But when I was in college, I think I went through a lot of just growth. You're on your own for the first time. And that was just a really crazy transition. You navigate life, you have ups, you have downs, you have relationships, you have breakups, you have all the stuff, happening in college. And so I think one really awesome thing is that like I have developed this project over the time I was in college that is really just kind of touching upon all of those aspects. I think of it kind of as like this album of growth, showing my growth as a person, as an artist. And I think, growth is just something that all of us are doing. We're all growing as people every single day. And I think naturally, college, I think, was a big time for me when I really grew a lot and my writing grew a lot too.
Yes, like college is literally where you are thrown into adulthood. You have no choice but to find yourself. Now, with your music, last year you released a song titled Out. How would you describe that? Like, walk us through the creative process of that, from the lyrics to the visuals, all that good stuff.
For sure. Well, yeah, Out. One of my favorite records I've done so far, produced by Ron Browse. So grateful, like such a visionary. I had a lot of fun with that record. I think it's really bold and really empowering. I think a big theme of the lyrics I write are empowerment and taking your power back. That's a huge, I think, thing that I want people to take away from my music. And so it started off by getting a track from Ron. And I think usually when I get a track from a producer, I kind of sit with it and see how it's making me feel. I might like sing some melodies, think of certain words that are coming to mind from it. And I think that's kind of how my process goes. Honestly, it's really different every single time. Like in that case, it comes maybe more so from the track and what the track is inspiring. Sometimes it comes from the lyrics and the melody. Like when I was graduating college, my last final, I wrote a song instead of doing a final paper. And that was straight from my brain making a melody, and I kind of made the chords around that. And so it changes every time, but for Out specifically, it was coming from kind of the track first and kind of the vibes I was getting from that. And yeah, it's a song that I love and a song that I think, or I hope people listen to and really feel empowered by. And if they need to leave a situation, like I hope they leave the situation from it. So
Empowerment, I know that's right. And
for
you
sure.
told us in the beginning that you define your sound as like that pop R&B like genre. Would you say that there's a genre that you haven't tapped into yet that you would like to explore at some point in your music career?
Yeah. That's a great question. I feel like I do listen to a lot of like the more like indie singer-songwriter-esque kind of music. And I mean, this might be more of a cop out because the song that I wrote for my final was kind of that vibe, a little bit more singer-songwriter. So I definitely have a love for that. I just love the storytelling aspect. I have a dance record out right now called Girlfriend I Don't Wanna with of Shane, which I guess I've already done, but not a lot. So I feel like I still claim it as like haven't really went into that world. And that was so fun, such a fun collaboration. So definitely I think interested in exploring that more too.
Yes, we can't wait for that. And you actually had a viral moment where you performed Whitney Houston's How Will I Know a cappella. Tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about that moment. What did it feel like for you seeing the engagement? How did your career, like, how did that give you any type of trajectory in your career? Did you notice any type of impact through that?
How will I know if he really loves me? I say a prayer with every heartbeat.
Oh, for sure. I mean, one, it was already an honor to be able to like arrange and solo a Whitney Houston song. Like Whitney is like vocal Bible. That woman is incredible. Like the way, oh, I could talk forever about her. But so that was already in itself like such a moment for me, and to like do that at my theater at like school was amazing. And the response was honestly, I was so pleasantly surprised. You know, really loved the arrangement we created and the solo that I had done. And it was so much fun for me, but to see everyone connecting with it in that way was just so incredible. And I was honestly so touched to see people so moved because it was about my voice and the performance, but they were also really just inspired to see a young woman like myself at Harvard. And I think it was really awesome to kind of be that person for other people, for other young people. I had some like moms commenting, like, my daughters and I listened to this. And I loved that. Like, that is something that I think inspiring young women is like that really touched my heart for sure. And so
Love that.
that was really cool. I got a lot of really cool, I think, opportunities and different, just like people who were interested in my own journey as well, my own music, which was really awesome. And of course, like, I mean, I love Whitney, and I think it's been really cool to kind of introduce them to my own sound and my own style post that.
Shout outs to you. Would you say that brought in like a full new wave of new supporters for you?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because I remember the time I was arranging that song, like I never like I was juggling finals and juggling all this stuff and never would have thought that that would turn into what it was. So really just amazing. And again, like the fact that it was a Whitney song
It was meant
made
to be. And now you've touched on this quite a few times, so obviously we have to talk about it a little bit because you did go to the Harvard University, which not everyone gets to say. So congratulations. You actually graduated magna cum laude as well.
I
So, I
did.
mean, girl, pat yourself on the back and give yourself some flowers because you say it so nonchalantly. I'm like, girl, you out here killing it. So, how would you say your time at Harvard? You said that it helped you grow, obviously, like I said, threw you into adulting once you go to college. But how would you say that it helped shape you both personally and professionally, whether it's through your music career as well, if you want to tie that into it? How did that help you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one, I mean, the best people like are there, the professors, your peers. It's really just such an inspiring place because everyone is very different, but they're all kind of going after their goal. And that's, I think, a really awesome environment to be in. Like, you want to be around people who are motivated and pushing each other, like pushing you, pushing themselves. Like, it's just a great, I think, environment to kind of be growing up in and finding yourself in. So I think, as a student, especially, that was like really awesome. And I mean, in terms of my music career, I think that was actually maybe a little bit of a challenge at times. I think it's not a very popular path at Harvard to be going into music when you're graduating. I have friends on very different paths than me right now. And I think what it really taught me was to own who I am, to own what I want to do. Because look, like, people are on their own path and you got to just trust in your own timing. You're on your own path. And I think that was something I really took away because I was like, I just want to do this different thing. And we're gonna do it. And I really had to say it with my chest and not be like, I'm not sure, like I'm undecided. Like, no, you're decided. And I think that's one thing I think it definitely really taught me as well.
Yes, and that'll definitely help inspire so many young girls or just people in general. That'll help inspire so many. Now, you've written quite a few songs in your lifetime, especially starting so young. What would
Mhm.
you say is one song that feels the most personal to you and why?
Oh, that's a good question. The answer to that is probably one that's not out. So to think of the things that are, I mean, there's one song I have called Different, and I wrote that song at a time when I was feeling pretty emotionally unavailable. I was just like really just not feeling up to a certain situation, and I think it was a time when I was very vulnerable, maybe for the first time I'm in my music, coming from the perspective of kind of like emotionally maybe closed off a little bit. I think a lot of the songs that I had released prior to then were very positive, uplifting, like just a different vibe. Like my first song was about like shutting out negative words. It was a very different vibe shift for me, and I think it was one of the first times that I was taking a really like raw experience and just putting it on the page like pretty bluntly and like really honestly and truthfully. And that was scary. Um, yeah, I think it would be that one for now, but there will be new ones in the
There will be
future.
more that you keep
Perhaps
in the
perhaps
vault.
pretty soon.
Now,
Yeah.
throughout your time in music, what would you say has been the most valuable lesson that you've learned thus far?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think it's to always listen to the people around you. I think when you're going to spaces of people who have a lot more experience, it can be really daunting and really scary. And I think it's just really important to just listen sometimes more than you talk, which maybe sounds a bit weird, but I feel like you gotta just listen to everyone's wise words. And obviously, like as a creative, like as a writer, like you have your voice, you have your say, but I think it's really important to kind of like learn from the vets a little bit and to really just soak in everything you can. And that's, I think, a big lesson I've learned. And I feel very lucky to have been in rooms with people who have a lot more experience than me, longer than I've been alive. So that's, I think, something that I've really picked up for sure.
That's a good one. I feel like I always hear a lot of people, especially vets, they say always stay a student to the game. Like you're never too old or too seasoned to learn something new. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
smart.
sure. For sure.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
everyone else is out there listening to that piece of advice she just gave. Now, out of everything that you have done thus far, what would you say has been the most memorable moment or your favorite moment thus far throughout your journey?
Oh wow. This is kind of like a smaller moment, but for me it was really impactful. It was having to do with the How I Know video. There was a comment from the Grammys on the video. They, I guess, had seen it
What?
on TikTok and they made a comment. And I mean, I've been watching the Grammys since I was little bitty baby. Like that was so cool for me to think of like that organization seeing me singing. So that
Did
was
you seize the moment? Did you say, invite me?
comments. I don't even know what I said. I was shocked. I remember exactly where I was. I remember the time of day. I remember that moment very well. But yeah, I mean, whew,
That's a
I
big
don't know.
one.
We'll put it out into the universe. We'll
Yes.
put it up there. Hmm.
Grammys, if you're listening, bring Nikki out next time. Have her on the stage actually performing. Now, what is next for Nikki? What can our listeners expect to see and hear from you in the future? Anything that you are obviously allowed to disclose at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, one really exciting thing is June 11th, so pretty close to right now. I have a free show in New York City. I'm really excited about it. It's a lot of unreleased originals I'm playing, and it's kind of like my first showcasing of these songs. So I'm really, really excited. This new project I've been working on is really so meaningful to me. I think it's the first time I've kind of worked less at like maybe putting out like one-off like singles and developing a real sound. And so I'm really excited. That's a really exciting thing I have coming up. I think for now that's all I'll reveal, but perhaps there will be more. If they follow along, check it out. There might be some more coming up soon too.
Hey, and that segues right into my next question, because how can our listeners and viewers stay up to date and figure out everything that is going on in your world? How can they find you?
So I'm currently at Nikki Nicole Music on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok. Actually, I don't really use like Facebook, but I guess you could go there too if you want. YouTube, all the things. And yeah, I'd love to have them tune in, follow
Yeah.
along.
Make sure you guys follow, support, subscribe, share, repost, all that good stuff, because everything matters nowadays, especially in social media. And it costs $0 just to subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. But before you guys go, make sure you also follow us. We are available on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at _all-of-the-above-1. That is where you will see so much amazing content from us. And make sure you also hit that subscribe button. We are available on YouTube. That is where you will see this amazing interview with the beautifully talented Nikki, as well as a host of other interviews. We have celebrity interviews, local events, non-local events, anything that you could think of, all of the above is there and covering it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you always get those notifications. And last but not least, make sure you visit our website at www.alloftheabove-podcast.com. That is where you will get a whole list of information about us and our team. You will also get the hub of all of our links under one umbrella, so you have no excuse not to find us, our YouTube, or any of our streaming platforms. Nikki, it was a pleasure having you. This was a great discussion.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. So good to meet you, Angel. Yeah, such a fun chat. Thanks so much.
You are welcome, and I hope you continue flourishing. And as always, guys, I'm your girl, Angel Marie, and we will see you guys next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, storming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding. Way we pull it together, we applying my pressure. I am your new professor, teaching this whole semester. Pay attention to lessons. I like a chili pepper fresh out of Louisiana. It's all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame.